you don't know this, talk to your manager about why do I not know the most important concept of getting good shows. So, what is the number one reason why an applicant does not show to an interview?
Directions.
It's directions. It's poor directions. Okay? So just make a note that bad directions or no directions will cause someone to not show to an interview. Right? Do you know that there are people who have phobias of driving in strange places? I'm telling you, there are. Victoria, she's like, I'm one of them. I had a receptionist, Michelle Colaswano, who had a panic attack because she got lost once in Newark, New Jersey. Right? Anybody know anything about Newark? Not a place Mike Tyson would want to get lost. Okay? In the part of Newark she ended up in, she had to be escorted out by a cop. Right? That's the part of Newark she ended up in. So she had a phobia her whole life about driving in strange areas. She did that when she was like 16. Right? So years after, she was 24 and she started working for me. 8 years later, she still had this phobia. So bad directions will get people lost. Okay? If someone gets lost, who do they always blame? You. Now, you might have taken the person's phone call. Tell me if this has happened to you. You took the person's phone call, and you could just tell somewhere throughout the call they weren't writing the directions down. And they call you, and what do they say? The receptionist gave me wrong directions. And you're like, I gave you directions. A-hole, right? It's like, don't tell me I gave the right. It's like, you didn't write them down, right? And you know. But who do they still blame? Now, they know it's their fault, but no one ever likes being wrong, right? Because if you're right, that means they're wrong. No one ever wants to tell you that they're right. So understand that bad direction will get people lost. If they're running late, someone who's running late will not want to show up. Why? They don't want to embarrass themselves and say, I'm late. And if they do show up late, who do they immediately try to blame? You. So you have to take that into your own hands and be proactive about making sure people get the proper directions. Another thing about directions is that there are programs, namely Google and MapQuest, that blatantly give wrong directions. Have you noticed this before? Raise your hand if you've gotten directions and they gave you the wrong directions. To my own office, okay? If you try to Google from here to my office on North Jerusalem Road, it is 6.1 miles away, okay, from this exact location. It will give you the wrong directions. It will tell you to take the Meadowbrook Parkway south to the Southern State Parkway east to exit 26 north. Okay? There is no 26 north. There's exit 26. There's no 26 north. So people will literally drive and they'll see exit 26, but what are they waiting for? North. The end. They'll go, where's the 26 north? Well, you know what? It doesn't exist on Google Maps. Okay? If you're over in Hicksville and you try to go to my office from there, which is a whopping 3.7 miles, right, from Broadway Mall. Okay? You go down, it'll tell you, go Old Country Road west, Wantagh Parkway south, to the Belmore Road exit. Ladies, there's no Belmore Road exit on the Wantagh Parkway. It misses a whole step that says exit onto Southern State Parkway west. Right? It just misses that whole step. Okay? Now, you guys know that when you click Show Directions on Vector Live, what does it pull up? Google Maps. You know that when they get emailed the directions, you know what it emails them? Your directions that are pre-printed on there and Google Maps. And if some people didn't write down the directions in the first place, what do? They go to MapQuest or Google Maps, which both take the directions from the same exact place, right? The same exact database, right? There's this big geological survey company that does all these roads, okay? And they sell them for big, big, big dollars, right, to these companies. So they're all getting their maps from the same place. That's how important directions are. What is the number 2 reason why someone does not show to an interview? Liz? What's that? That's there, but it's later in the list. Confusion?
Yeah.
No, that's later in the list. It's true, but it's later in the list. That's definitely a reason why they don't show, though. What's the number 2 reason? You've all called no-shows in the past. What do people say? Something came up. Or, something similar to that is I forgot. Right? I forgot. Or, oh, I didn't realize I had a doctor's appointment. Or I didn't realize I had class until this time. I didn't realize I had a paper to write. I didn't realize this. So something comes up. Well, the less time in between when you schedule them and when they are scheduled, okay, for the interview they're scheduled for, the less time there, the higher chance they show. And the less chance something comes up in the next 3 hours. What are the chances something's actually going to come up in the next 3 hours? Slim to none. Okay? Now, the more time between when you schedule them and when their interview is, the more chance that, first of all, something legitimate could come up. But number two, what usually comes up? Write down the word laziness. That's what all of a sudden pops up into their mind. Like, wait a minute, I forgot that I'm a lazy college student. I should be procrastinating. I should be going to the mall, spending the money I don't have. I should be out drinking right now. That's what they don't say that, but all these other excuses pop into their mind. Most of them are illegitimate, but you know what? There is always a chance of a legitimate reason coming up. Okay? But that's why the less time between when you schedule